Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So, we're here for an episode of What's New, and the album I've chosen for today is from a Swedish band called Gems, an all female hard rock band. The album is entitled Year of the Snake. This is their second studio album. So this was released on March the 13th, Friday, March the 13th, 2026. Definitely a hard rock, bit of a metal sound to some of the music, but I would call them hard rock. The studio bonus and Nordic Sound Lab in Sweden, of course, 45, pretty close to 45 and a half minutes long, so just slightly outside that range, but not too much, so not really that noticeable. On the Napalm Records label, and the producer is Johan Random, or Johan Random, however you want to call it. Randon, sorry, not random. So the band consists of Guernica Mancini on vocals, Emily Johansson on drums, and Mona Lindgren on guitar and bass. So there are a total of 14 tracks here. Most of the stuff is in between 2 and 4 minutes, like almost all of it. There's, I think, one song outside of that range, or a couple that are a little over 4 minutes, but nothing too serious. I would call this a hard rock band. Definitely had some Van Halen influence here, although the guitar isn't really up to Eddie Van Halen standards, but still the rhythm, the beats, the songs, quite a few of them. I hear a little bit of Van Halen in there, but a hard rock band for sure. Pretty good, solid band. I think the vocalist is the dominant member of the band. She's very forward, very frontal, great voice, very smooth, very clear. Great articulate voice, mid to high range. Not any of that screechy stuff. At times a little bit raspy, but not overly. And a multi-vocal parts, or the harmony parts, or the backing vocal parts are all pretty decent as well. The guitar soloing, not outstanding, but definitely fits the music. The riffing is good. Different sounds, much of it up-tempo, fast-paced, but also some stuff here that's a little bit more melodic. I think there's one ballad on the album. So overall, pretty strong album, I think. I kind of liked it. There was nothing outstanding. There was no outstanding songs here, or even very good or great songs, but some really solid individual tracks. So we'll start. I'm going to break the songs down. So the opening track is just a little bit over a minute in length. It's called Walls. It's got a lot of synthesizer noises here, kind of a heavy pulsating synthesizer noise to start, with a multi-vocal sound. Synthesizer noises throughout the track, various different sounds going on. Not bad. It's kind of an opening track for the album, leading into the title track, which is Year of the Snake. So a nice kind of, and this is one of those exceptions when the title track, because it's like with Van Halen, where they have Intruder, really kind of just a bit piece that kind of opens another track. I'm a little more forgiving on that. So Year of the Snake is the first full heavy track here, with lots of guitar riffing. There's no guitar on the front track, just mostly synthesizers and keyboard sounds. So Year of the Snake, heavy guitar riff, very fast-paced track, up-tempo vocals, very forward, clear, but a little raspy at times too, but really a solid song. Next up is Gravity, a little bit of a keyboard opening here, followed by a heavy guitar part, a melodic, fast-paced, hard rock song, catchy, kind of windy-like guitar solo. It's not too windy, but it's a little bit of that going on. Vocals are clear but scratchy, forward, mid to high in range as well. And then you've got a nice solo, typical of a fast-paced track. Next up is A Diamond in the Rough. Catchy, heavy guitar riff here. The vocals are mid to high range, a little bit raw, a little bit raspy, but not too much. And of course, standard forward on almost all these tracks. Vocals are very frontal. A simple but heavy guitar beat driven song. Next up is the fifth track, Live and Let Go. Fast-paced, up-tempo guitar riff at the beginning. It's got a bit of a beefy, fast-paced track altogether, and the vocals are clear, fast, high range, and very forward again. The next track, one of my favorites, maybe my favorite on the album, Clout Chaser. A nice bouncy rock and roll track. Got a nice heavy guitar riff, but it's kind of up and down like you would get in an AC/DC song. Nice heavy guitar riff here as well. The vocals are bitey, heavy with some supporting vocals, which are good. They're smoothed out. And then it's kind of a catchy guitar track. Nice cutting guitar solo too. So yeah, to me, it's probably the best track on the album. The back half here. So we got there's 14 tracks in total. So this would be the end of the first 7 tracks. Hot Bait is the name of the track, just under 3 minutes. Pretty typical sound for this album. Heavy, bitey guitar riff. Almost a Van Halen-like sound to it. Very bouncy-like. The vocals are clear, mid-range, and very forward. Kind of a poppy hard rock track. The solo is a little bit on the picky side too. Next up is Forgive and Forget, or Forgive and Forget. I wrote Forgive and Forgive for some reason. A slow opening, a low end. I call this a power ballad track. It does start out kind of in the ballady feel to it, and then picks up and gets a little bit heavier. Vocals are melodic, mid-range. You got beefs up a little bit towards the middle of the song, and then you got this kind of a heavy metal guitar solo at the end. But overall, I would say this is definitely a kind of a power ballad. One of the weaker tracks too, not something that's terribly great. I didn't find it that great. The next track up is Go Along to Get Along. This is a heavy, bouncy riff track with a very, very up-tempo. Vocals are clear, forward, and mid to high range at times. Overall, I find this a catchy track with a solo that's a bit, a little bit on the whiny side, but not terribly so. There's nothing here that's really extreme with these guys. The next song is called Math Is Mathing. Math Ain't Mathing. Another sub 3-minute song. Catchy melodic guitar riff. The vocals are fast. Frontal, loud, clear, mid to high range. Nothing special about this track though. Next one I like quite a bit is this Firebird. Fast-paced, heavy riff track here. The vocals are clear. A bit lower in the range, especially in the beginning of the track. Guitar riff is bitey. The drums are a bit heavier on this track and a little bit more forward than they were on some of the other tracks as well. Stars is the next song, another pretty good song. This is just sub 4-minute track, same as Firebird. They're both sub 4-minute tracks. Nice multi-vocal, loud, very forward, going high into the high range track here. Catchy, heavy guitar riff as well. The solo is heavy, melodic, metal-like, and it's a bit lengthy. This one, probably one of the longer solos on the album. The solos generally are like 5 to 15 seconds in length. This one's a little bit longer than that. Next up is a bit of a weaker song, Buckle Up, one of the 2 or 3 weak songs on the album. It's a little over 4 minutes, one of 2 tracks, I think, that are like that. Heavy riff opening, picks up a little bit of a heavy feel. Vocals, again, clear, frontal, very heavy, very loud. And the guitar-driven and heavy track overall. It's just not terribly memorable track. And then the final track, which is Happy Water. A classic speed-up guitar riff here. Vocals are strong, fast, forward, some raspiness to the vocal parts, and a little bit, I guess they're kind of mid-range as well. There is a bit of a vocal distorted part towards the back part too. It's almost like they're trying to make it almost like a Judas Priest sound, but it doesn't really sound like that at all. This is one of the weaker tracks as well. So they could have cut off those back two tracks, and I think the album would have been stronger overall. But not a bad album. I did enjoy it. Heavier than I thought it was going to be, and the vocalist is outstanding. She's the strength of this band. So the album today, Gems, Year of the Snake, released March the 13th, 2026. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about this band or about the album, you can do so in the comment section below, and we will be back next Saturday night with another What's New episode. So I hope to see you all then. And I think I have an album that's come in the mail that we're going to do for one of these shows. Anyways, take care and have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.